Yep.
Good thing to do. That would be a good thing to do. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
And I was just going to talk about
Yep. Let's do it.
with rates, what's it going to take to get people back in the market? Because people keep asking me, why aren't rates going down more?
Why more? Why? Yeah.
Why not more?
Sure. We'll talk about it. Yep.
And I broke out, principal and interest, $500,000 loan. At today, 6.75. And if we got down to 5.5, is that going to make a difference?
It'll make a difference, but it'll also cause prices to go sky high.
Yep.
So you really don't want 500 people jumping in the swimming pool when you do as well, because everybody pee-pees in the pool. No, I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Ready? Yep. Good to see everybody. Here we go. All right. Queued up. We're good. Sound?
In 3, 2,
all right.
And 1.
Hey, folks, welcome back to your Frederick Real Estate Update. I am Darren Ahern with RE/MAX Results. Happy, beautiful Saturday. Yeah, this is going to be Saturday. And welcome back to school, all you boys and girls that are listening in the car ride to school. Welcome back, Carter. You guys get to have another fun, beautiful year of 2026 into 2027 school year. So summer, we could almost say, is kind of officially over. We're not near the fall yet. We're still going to have 90-degree weather, I guarantee it. But what does this mean for the housing market? We're going to find out here in a little bit. Some ideas and trends. All right. Have it with me, the man, myth, legend, sitting right on next to me. He's back from the big Ocean City trip and the White Marlin Open and all the air fun stuff, Mr.
Terry Kernan.
Hey, buddy.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. Good to have you back. It's been lonely. I mean, Frankie's been another company, but it's good to have you back.
Well, thanks for holding the fort down.
Yeah, it's all good.
Calling in. Thanks for letting me call in.
Yeah, it's been great information.
We had a great couple of weeks at the beach and just really enjoyed company and family and the granddaughters. Kayla and Molly and Shannon came down and Kayla and Molly go back to school next week. Molly's going for the first time. So a lot going on in the Kernan household. So it's winding up a great summer. And as I said on the show before, I always feel that July 4th is the end of the summer because you blink and then all of a sudden they're going back to school. So that's kind of where we are. So, and
it's also a big day today. Happy birthday to my son, Ethan. I got 6 boys. So, we're catching birthdays all the time. It seems like, right? There's another one next week. There's another one next week. Mine's coming up. So it's fun. So happy 23. Love you, son. You're awesome. Thanks for being a good electrician out there and doing what you do for the public and people and businesses and all that. So he's fun.
Well, now I got to bring up that Joey and Bridget just had birthdays.
They just had birthdays. Everybody's having them. And you had one August 1st.
I had one. Joey just turned 33 and and Bridget turned 29, or Joey turned 34. Jeez.
Those keep happening.
34 and 29.
That's it.
Let's go.
All right. So last week, Terry and I shared, and thanks, we got a lot of really good comments about all the information we're sharing and everything, how relevant it's coming from colleagues and everybody and all over. So that's really, really good. I know I hit a nerve. We've been hitting a nail on the head with some things on that. And that's what I want to do, is talk about the things that are extremely important. And you have as well. I had somebody come in there like, man, Terry, you gave the whole history of like mortgage stuff. Holy cow. I didn't realize it, changed that much over his career in 40 years. I was like, oh yeah, heck, in 20 years, we had flipped cell phones. It felt like, come on now. Exactly. Yeah. So, hey, we just created, fire was invented right before mortgages. Like, right. So, okay. Let's jump into it. Last week, the whole giveaway thing, the whole fun thing. Man, Terry, I was like, where's everybody at? $100 gift card. Couldn't even give a $100 gift card away. I guess everybody's afraid to maybe share or find, tell me what the inventory is, but I'm going to jump right on into it right away. So last week, I'm going to give it away. 735, we're up. We were at 709, 709, 699, 695. We were flat, creepy, crawly, flat for 5 weeks. And then boom, we just broke out a little bit again. We're up to 735 and last week, and now we're higher this week a little bit. So it's like, here's the trend. So here's what I wanted to talk about this. Last year, we peaked on October 11, 2025 at 711. We just passed it. We just passed last year's highest inventory of the whole year. Is that panic? No, not at all. But we're likely on a 10 to 12% increase if that trend would continue like we're on now. I can't say that we're going to be on like October 11th that week this year. We're going to peak out. Man, nothing makes sense. There is no crystal ball. I promise you. But at some point this year, we're going to peak out. I don't care when. I think the number, I predict about 810.
Okay. So based on last year's number of 711, that's about, like you said, 10 to 15%.
Yep.
And more. And we're not talking about appreciation here. So nobody get excited.
No.
We're talking about more houses,
inventory, more houses,
more
to
inventory on the market.
Yeah.
More to choose from, more to negotiate from. And I think that that's a healthy number. If we can get over 800, and I often think about the times where we were sitting here going, yeah, I can't believe we have 92 resale homes on the market.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. But I think if we got over 800, we'd kind of, keep edging towards that slack tide that I talk about, where the, tide's not going out. It's not a seller's market, nor is it a buyer's market. And that's where I think that we need to get, not only here, but everywhere. Because I think that will bring a little bit of stability to the market, and then we'll kind of see what happens then.
Yeah. My fear is, Terry, that there's no doubt once we cross 800 into 900, maybe, there is the more we keep going towards higher inventory, and if buyer demand does not stay up with that, and I just saw a report that the buyer demand is the lowest it's been 30 years, we're in good shape. And I'm going to share this number with you. That's really relevant. I just saw it. I posted on my Facebook. You can check it out. The more we go towards that number, the more the choo-choo train's going to stop, and then all of a sudden values are going to actually legitimately, consistently start going down. At some point, in sellers, I know you don't like it. It is what it is. Buyers love it. That's what we've been wanting. In fact, that's not even going to be good enough. Buyers are going to want to flip and crash. And that's not a crash to see areas right now, like you said, slack tide. It's almost like there's certain areas of the market's down a little bit, certain areas are up a little bit, and then it's weird and it shifts and changes every 3 months. And that's what's really interesting. So with that being said, I am not hitting, that's not even close to a panic button, but it is, I believe, worth mentioning that sellers should not be as alarmed and surprised at all by any means whenever they start to see, oh man, my value's down even a little more. That's just what we're heading towards on the trend. It's just what it is. The thing that will accelerate it, Terry, is if interest rates go up. That's just going to accelerate it.
Accelerate the number of homes that on the market.
No, that will accelerate values going down. If homes keep going up, interest rates now go up higher than they are today. Mm-hmm. That is the kiss of death for your value. Bottom line, you can argue with me all day. I don't really care. That will do it. That will start to add gasoline towards the accelerating part of seeing us go from being positive, just tiny bit flat, 2% up, blah, 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 to, hey, we're consistently down 1 more percent. We're consistently down 3% this year or whatever. I don't want to see that happen, but that's, I think, what's needed maybe. I mean, that's what we may see. And that may unstop some of the frozen market. So within these numbers, in the United States, this just came out, sellers, they're saying right now there's 1.463 million homes on the market. Great, fine, whatever. I don't care how accurate it is, but it's probably, let's just say it's 95% accurate. Homes for sale is 1.463. How many buyers, based on a lot of algorithms and things, they're saying there's 946,000 buyers. That's a problem, Your Honor.
That sounds like a low number to me.
It does. I definitely do, because this is the United States, Frederick County. If we have 735 homes for sale right now, if our trend followed the United States, or you mean to tell me we have like 625 buyers in Frederick County right now?
I don't think that's the case.
Exactly. I know
but
for
then
a
again,
fact.
This is nationwide. This is including the huge states of Florida and California, which we know are in some areas are taking it on the chin right now. So, but yeah, no, I think that's a low number.
I do too. I'm like, help me out, chat. Somebody, Gronk, somebody explain this to me deeper, because I don't agree with it. I'm just going to be honest. I don't agree with it. Only because the trends we're seeing, only because the flatness of values as a whole, only because Zillow, Redfin, Remax, everybody's downgrading and says, well, we're going to have maybe a 1% decrease in values in the United States, not 3 or 5 or whatever. We're not crashing. It's not going to be up. In Frederick County, 735 homes. I promise you, we are at the same or more buyers right now looking for homes. I personally believe, this is me, we have we lost 100 agents. We have 1,100 real estate agents in Frederick County right now that have a license.
That's today.
Yeah, today. Now, that's not every single agent like me full-time. Only 10 to 15% of us, by the way, are full-time. That's the truth.
And that number it has to have dropped because
it has.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's less of us that are in the game.
7 years ago, a lot of full-time agents.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So let's say there's a good day. Let's just say I'm going to be gracious. 20% of us are full-time, 80%. And let's just say 50% are not really crazy active working with buyers right now. They're kind of like, well, if my parents' friends call, I'll help them. No. Okay, so let's just lower that number to like 700, 600 for fun, or 650. 650. You mean to tell me to match 735, every single real estate agent only needs to have one buyer they're working with to have this match out and be above the national average? Sorry, doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense. You can ask me, Terry, you know how many buyers I have in the queue? I have 42 buyer home searches going on right now. I have 42 buyers that at any given moment can call me and say, let's go. I'm only one agent and I'm not the greatest. I'm not the most popular, the biggest with all the sale. And so I'm thinking in my head, if just the average agent, and by the way, this doesn't include agents outside of our area of Frederick County. And by the way, there's more in Montgomery County. If just every agent just has 3 active potential good buyers they're working with, it blows those numbers out of the sky. So something doesn't feel, seem, smell right to me and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is, right? Here's the other thing, Frederick County, how we doing? Volume. From July of last year, this year, July, what it is, volume. We're up 14% in sales. What? That's not the norm. We're not up 14 year over year. If we were, that'd be amazing, but we're not. But we're not far off from that number. Average sale price, 2.3%. State of Maryland, down 0.03. Frederick is flipping amazing. Like, go look at where the Bricks Works are. You want to talk about local Frederick? 65 acres of land. I drove by it last week. They've clear-cutted everything. Terry, when I drove by that circle going into downtown Frederick and saw like what it looked like 2 weeks ago versus like 3 or 4 days ago, all I could smell, I put my window down and I cracked it down at 91 degrees to do one thing. Guess what I smelled? Money. Crazy. I was like, wow, that's over $1 billion I just sniffed through my window where the old Frederick Brickworks was. Why? They're getting ready to build like 1,000 units. Whole Foods is coming in. I saw that like the spicy Joe's chicken. I'm giving you guys free advertising. Joe's chicken. I'm like, these guys are going to make bank like nobody's business.
Wow, that's going to really bring
65 acres of pure money is getting excavated right now with there. Crazy money, stupid. That doesn't amount to the convention center and what's going to also be built on Carroll Creek and all that down there. But that one little spot, 65 acres, is about ready to transform into some of the highest economic returns Frederick has ever seen. You know what I said to myself? I got down to the red light by the school board and I thought, oh, when they offer these townhouses and these units for sale, I want to be the first one in line buying the very first one as an investment. Why? Because even if they start at 600 grand, they're going to be up to $1 million in 5 minutes down there. I promise you. That's going to be like the greatest investment you can make in Frederick coming up. Anyways, I know that's a prediction, but mark my word on it. While they're digging dirt, that's going to be stupid money over there. All right, let's keep going. All right, so those are some of the numbers. Pending their contracts are up. Volume is up. Months of inventory, 3.1 days on the market. Ooh, we haven't seen it change yet. It's still saying 12, but the average is like 33. No, we're higher now, and higher price points that are selling and luxury homes are doing really good is the only thing keeping that number down as a whole. So that's some of those numbers. Don't want to get too much more into the weeds on that. I will talk in the next week or two, maybe a little bit more days on market and other things under contracts and solds and all that, but I'm not going to take up more time to do that. So that's the flow of the market. That's where we're at. Those are the factual things and just some of my ideas about inventory as far as that. As far as values are concerned, I still think we're going to do great. We're going to be doing better than last year. We're going to land, I believe, we're at 2.3 as a whole. There's spotty areas that are down. There's some areas that are even up a little bit more. I still predict that we'll be at least at 2.5%. Even if we stay pretty flat, we're going to be there. Oh, one of the things I do want to share is I just had an appraisal come back on a property. Can't tell you nothing about it. All I can tell you is it came back $40,000 less than the asking price. I'm sorry, no, not, I'm sorry, 30. Sorry. 30. I can do my math in my head. $30,000. So that's it. And it just percentage wise, it just, equates to like 6%, 7%, whatever less. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So, but the good news is got an offer on the house. It's a moot point at this point. Hopefully I pray and we're moving forward. I got this mega house, big one under contract finally. So I'll talk more about that, but I just thought I was interested. What's interesting about it is my sellers were shocked. They were just kind of like, dang, Darren, you were right. Like, oof, take this offer and run. So run, Forrest, run. So yeah, it made sense. And there was some dynamics within it. And people, you can only fight against reality for so long and then reality wins, right? So there we go. It's good though. It's really good. I'm really excited. My sellers are really actually happy with where we're at with things and all that. It's not 100% where they wanted, but they're grateful only because of where the appraisal came in. How's that? So, all right. Mortgage stuff, rates. Go.
What's going on?
Yeah.
All
what's
right.
happening?
So let's talk about what's going on. Is last week we saw some good numbers come in that show what the inflation is. So my recommendation is, if you're following the market, if you're wondering what to do, let's take a look at what you should be following. Now, you don't want to always follow what the inflation numbers are. You definitely want to follow what the inflation numbers are. Lower inflation means lower rates. Bottom line. Can't be any more clear than that. So many people are asking me, why aren't rates coming down faster? Why aren't they coming down faster? Why? Because the Fed is not convinced that inflation is going away. So it's very important to not only look at the data, look at what the inflation numbers are, but also listen to what the Fed says about their fear of inflation. Are they afraid that inflation is still there, still lingering? You got to remember, 4 or 5 years ago, when transitory became the hot topic, that word is not allowed to be spoken at the Federal Reserve anymore. Okay?
That's been banned.
I was talking to someone. They said, no, that word's not even
Mr.
allowed.
Warsh, this is banned.
That is not even allowed to be talked about. But I've said it on this show is that this war, I believe, is causing transitory inflation. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm allowed to say it. It's not a banned word on the radio yet, but that's kind of what we're going. So the question comes, Darren, is what's it going to take for people to start? You talked all about the demand is low. You talked about how, there's 946,000 for 1.4 million homes, 946,000 buyers. So the question that we should be asking people is, at what point are you going to get into the market?
Yeah, there you go.
Right now we're at 6.75%. If we take a look at a $500,000 loan, and for so many years I used a $400,000 loan.
Yeah, that's gone.
But that's gone. That's like a condo townhouse now. So let's look at a $500,000
in California. It's a plot of land.
Yeah, and that's so sad that we're,
Compared to affordability, it's a sad comment subject.
Yeah, the average loan amount in Frederick when I got into the business in 1940 was about $67,000. 40 years later, it's now $500,000.
500. Yep.
So let's talk about today's rate. 6.75%. Your monthly principal and interest is $3,243. That's not taxes. That's not insurance. That's basically principal and interest. If rates drop a quarter of a point, you're going to save about $83 a month. And that $83 a month will drop you down to $3,160. If it drops down to 6%, a full 3/4 of a point, it's going to drop you down to right around $3,000. So about $245 lower.
Wow. Okay.
If it drops down, so the question is $245 a month really the number that people are going to say, okay, it's time to Let's go shopping. Let's go hunting for homes. Let's jump back into the market. Or is it the psychological end that says, hey, we're at 5.99. So what if they go down to 5.5%? If you go from 6.75% to 5.5% on that same exact loan, you're going to save $400 a month.
Okay. There you go.
Now that's real money. That's real money. To me,
that's half a car payment.
Yeah. It used to be a luxury car payment, but today it's a half a car payment. So we're looking at, it doesn't sound like a whole lot of money. So I think a lot of demand is where the rates are psychologically. Like if rates are in the fives, then they aren't going to compare. Well, at 6.75, this mortgage was $3,243, and today it's only $2,839. People aren't comparing that. They're looking at two things: how much is coming out of my pocket, but psychologically, to get them back into the market, I truly believe that it's got to be 5.99 to where we start to see that number. So what you were saying about inventory climbing, I think it's going to continue to climb. People have asked me, what do you think is going to happen? And I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again, is that the midterm elections are very important for the Republicans, the current administration. So the war is becoming a nagging. They've got to figure out the war before the midterms. And if they do that, then we'll see rates coming down in the fall. If they don't figure it out, then we're going to see rates probably steady through the fall. But once the war is figured out and resolved, which I'm hoping for sooner the better, and as everybody is, then I think we're going to see the rates come down. But the question is when rates start to come down, what's the number that people are going to say, now's a good time to get back in the market? I think it's going to be at 6.25 where they're going to start getting back in. Yeah. They're going to look for that trend, right? Yeah. You're not going to buy something on sale today at 6.25% if you feel it's going to be on sale next month at 5% or 5.5%. Oh yeah. So rates are not going to come down very fast. I want to be very clear on that. Yeah, it's going to be so slow. Because there's not a lot of trust, and the feds have to be thoroughly convinced that inflation is under control. But that's kind of what we're looking at. The other thing that I've experienced in the last couple of weeks is parents helping their children get into homes. Yes. Okay. And I could talk a whole segment on that, but let's talk a little bit about something that you may want to consider. If you're a parent and you're trying to help your child who may not feel comfortable jumping into the market, take a look at a DSCR loan. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Take a look. If you don't own a mortgage, if you don't own a home, but you want to become a real estate, you want to get into that real estate, you want to see your net worth go up. Before the rates come down, we're at a very steady part of the market to where supply is going up. A DSCR loan is debt service coverage ratio. That means that somebody that is living with their parents, if their parents want to help them buy a house, they can actually buy that house as an investment. They can have somebody else pay that mortgage. And I think that that's where a lot of and I'm going to call them kids mentality. I have kids that are in their 20s and 30s, but that's kind of where the mentality is I don't want to pay this big payment. I can't afford this big payment. I don't want to, milk my parents, but I want to get into the real estate market. Look at doing an investment property coming out of the gate. What do you need? You need to have saved money and you need to have decent credit. Yes. Right? Yeah. Other than that, that's going to get you into the house. Doesn't matter about income, doesn't matter about anything else. So that's kind of one of the things that I'm seeing more and more is parents getting to the point where they're saying, let's figure out how we can get our son, our daughter into a house. Let's figure out what we can do to help them, and let's figure out the best route. Look at a DSCR loan. Look at a 2-unit property where you can have renters on one side and you can live on the other side. Okay. So that's very, very important. And that's something you should take a look at because, if you want to get your kids involved, that's one way to take a look at it. Yeah, that's important. There you go.
Call Terry up and he can go through some of these options that are really, really good. But you said a thing before on the one part of it about 200 and what was that? 200 and the different payments, like $248 or whatever a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I started thinking is if it was 300, we're talking people are delaying over $8 a day, a Starbucks coffee a day.
Mm-hmm.
And my fear is this, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. You've got, we've got, they're saying right now, and this is something I've heard, we have about 8 million buyers on the sidelines, on the side of the swimming pool. We missed 2 opportunities over time with the inventory and the numbers. And we went from 5 million to now 4.1 million transactions in the United States between the COVID. And that was an anomaly. But on an average, we've watched nearly 6 million transactions that they just never happened.
Okay.
According to average. So here's my point. Because of knowing these numbers and seeing this and going, oh boy, this is going to be really interesting how this bad boy plays out. It's like, do we open up the dam all at one time and you have all this gushing at once? No, that's going to cause a flood, a bad thing. But we do it slowly. And like you said, at what point do you have buyers with coming into the market as rates go lower or whatever changes to go, oh no, there's going to be a breaking point where they say, oh no, that would have been better to get in before than now. This is costing me more now. My payment's not, my interest rate's not, but what I'm competing against in the house prices, I lost all of it because of the numbers going up on the other side. The other side of the seesaw went up faster than where I was saving on the one side. And I know that's a little convoluted for a second, but there's going to be a point, and I know it's going to happen, where buyers are going to say, oh no, we should have listened. I just know it's going to happen.
So I see where you're going.
You see where I'm going with it?
Yeah. So this is my interpretation of what you're saying.
Go ahead, real quick.
Is it, if somebody waits until the rates come down to 6%, we're going to see a tremendous amount of demand coming into the market.
Yeah.
And demand is going to push the value of the homes up. So if somebody's looking at, let's say, a $500,000 home,
mm-hmm.
and they're waiting for the rates to come down, and they don't buy now at 6.75,
yep.
Then next spring when they jump in the market when rates are at 5.99,
if they did that, then you're too late.
Then you're too late because that house now is at $525,000.
That's it.
Or $530,000.
There you go.
And that $245 a month that you just saved
bingo
is gone. Is that
gone.
what you were?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's going to come a place where it's gone.
Did I?
Yeah, that's perfect. You did it better than me. That's when there's a point in this where that's going to happen. Now, no one can have an interview of all the people on the side of the swimming pool saying, what number do you think? Where do you think? Where do you think? But I promise you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And that's my thing is I don't want to be this rah and this agent known as you're cheerleading, you're putting pressure, you're fear mongering. No, I'm not. Stay on the dang side of the pool. I don't really care. I don't care if you never buy. I really don't. I don't care as a seller, you wait till the crash and then say, oh shoot, we should have sold early. I don't care. The bottom line is I'm here to be a resource, and Terry is to say, think about these things. We do this every day, 70 hours a week. We've got how many years? 40 years, 25? We have 65 years in this sandbox. We're here to serve and help you. Hello.
Let
All right, so we got to get done.
Let me take.
Yep, go ahead, real quick. We got 20 seconds.
Okay, 6.75%. If rates drop to 6%, you're looking at $245 difference. If you take what that difference means, is you're looking at about a $30,000
spread on price. There it is. And that's exactly what happened.
And that's going to happen.
That's going to happen, especially here in Frederick. I don't know about the rest of the country, but definitely here.
I hope we didn't confuse you.
So there you go.
Now's a good time to buy.
That's it. It's not a crazy bad time. So thank you guys for tuning in your Frederick Real Estate Update. We are here. Happy buying and selling. And let's go. We're almost in September. It's going to be my birthday. I'm celebrating the whole month. Just there you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. Happy buying and selling.